in our diplomatic history, we have never had this many powerful nations, the top 20 economies of the world. Even to get all the major countries to sit around the table itself requires a lot of diplomacy. We also want to be a voice of fairness, of justice. We've also, from last month, taken over the presidency of the G20. Again, many of you would have read about it. I sometimes get the question, you can imagine from which quarters, saying, well, you know, it was bound to come your way anyway, so what's the big deal? It is a very big deal. It is a very big deal because in our diplomatic history, we have never had this many powerful nations, the top 20 economies of the world, who among them today account for the bulk of the global GDP, who dominate world trade, who are 2/3 of the world's population. Their leaders come to India. That itself is important. But more than who is coming, it is when are they coming? Because as you would have gathered from my remarks by now, this is a very difficult and challenging time for the world. It is a difficult time because the world is under great economic stress, under supply chain stress. There is very strong political polarization. Even to get all the major countries to sit around the table itself requires a lot of diplomacy. So for us to take up this responsibility at this time is something truly exceptional, and I can tell you that we intend to use our presidency obviously for the benefit of the international community. We have a lot of ideas and thoughts, but in all of this, we also want to be a voice of fairness, of justice, of ensuring that societies and countries who would otherwise get left behind, who do not have somebody else to speak for them, that we emerge as their voice on matters like energy access and food security.